Right. Okay.
Go on air.
Okay, got it. And it's Tisha.
Just Tisha.
Just say Tisha. Okay. Uh-huh. 5, 4, 3, 1, here. Welcome to the official Light Up Livernois podcast, powered by Postbeat Media. I'm Greg Dunmore, and this has been really fantastic. The weather has been great. Light Up Livernois, I think it's the light from God that also is why it's called Light Up Livernois. I'm sitting next to Tisha, the co-host.
What's up?
And because Light Up Livernois is about bringing not only the excitement of shopping and enjoying the restaurants and music, but getting a chance to engage with fantastic folk. And there's no one more fantastic than Wayne County Sheriff Ray Washington.
What up, dope family?
Now, I'm also sitting next to the unofficial mayor of Light Up Livernois, Rufus Bartell, the champion of the Independent Business Association.
That's right.
Can I say one quick thing? First of all, you got me this blue mic, like I'm a Sigma. Can we switch mic heads? Huh?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
because
you
you
need
know
that.
I am a Sigma
There you
Gamma
go.
Rho, so
There
you
you
know,
See,
you
this
see
is-
the royal blue.
There you go.
I take the
And
royal
listen,
blue.
You see, I got the gold.
I'm an alpha, and my colors are black and gold, black and gold. So we in it. We in it.
I am Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. This the gold, baby, right here.
This
That's
whole
right.
row is divine now.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's
So
right.
this is about
right.
being
right.
inspired.
That's
Now,
right.
Sheriff Washington,
Yes, sir.
Livernois,
Yes.
and certainly the sometimes negative news that Detroit is unsafe.
Yes.
And I want you to remind the world that's watching this why when they visit Detroit that Detroit is a safe place. Let them know.
Detroit is absolutely a safe place. We have law enforcement out here, Detroit Police Department. You have the Wayne County Sheriff. I am the Wayne County Sheriff. My organization, my agency is out here working with Detroit Police Department. So when you hear crazy stuff like teenage takeover and all that, teenagers ain't taking over nothing in Detroit. Detroit, we out here doing the work, making sure families are safe, and it's working.
Yeah, and you know what? Why is it that, you can have 10 things happen, 9 of them are fantastic, and there's one little blemish where people go to the blemish?
Yes, they always go to the blemish. But the news media, they go out and say, well, we gotta talk about crime and blood and all that, because if it bleeds, it leads. You know what I'm saying? But we getting away from that stuff. The people are tired of that kind of noise. They want to hear what's happening good in Detroit. And yes,
It's not even worth mentioning.
yes, it's not even worth mentioning. You're absolutely right.
That's a non-issue in Detroit.
You're absolutely
Accent the
right.
positive
We had a 60-year low.
Yes.
Exactly. You
Yes.
accent the positive to eliminate the negative. Now, we're blessed though, because behind they say great man, there's a great woman. Well, now we are 3 men that are in the company of a great lady.
Absolutely.
And this is Tisha from Brownstone. Remember Brownstone, the recording sensation out of Detroit. And I would like you to grace this particular conversation with a question that only Tisha could ask Wayne County Sheriff Washington. All right?
I would like to know, because I have a young man who just graduated from high school. He's still trying to feel his way and find out what it is that he wants to do.
Right.
Are there any opportunities for the young people in the city of Detroit?
Absolutely, there's opportunity. And let me talk about one in particular that I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
We as the Wayne County Sheriff's Office is hiring right now. 18 years old, high school diploma or GED, coming in making $55,000 plus at 18 years old. I'm about to get him out of your house, right? Because I'm tell you, we are out here doing the work, and so we're telling people all the time, there's no such thing as I don't have anything to do. We got jobs for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's happening with that. So if your son is trying to find his way, I'd be happy to talk to him and let him know we have a job for you right now.
I love that.
Yes, sir.
Now, Rufus for the people, because he certainly has his pulse on what this community wants to know. So,
Absolutely
Rufus,
does.
would you ask the sheriff a question that the community would want to hear you ask?
So first of all, knowing Ray Washington as well. Raphael.
That's my government name.
Okay.
But my friends call me Ray. Yes,
For a very
yes,
long time.
yes.
So I would ask, I already know the answer, but I would ask, how synergistic aligned are state police, city police, and Wayne County Sheriff?
Yeah, so we all aligned together. We are one. We know that we can't do anything by ourselves just because we have great agencies. We have to come together. So what we do in the Wayne County Sheriff's Office every Thursday, we're out here in Detroit in various precincts, right? Handling quality of life issues. Sometimes there's some things that the Detroit Police Department, they have to get to is very important. But you as regular citizens, law abiding, you want to see your neighborhood sustained, just like when you moved in there. So we go out and we're dealing with quality of life issues, morality situations, loitering around stores that young people, the older people rather, find intimidating to them. Those speeders who are speeding in the community and drag racing and all of that. We go out and deal with all of those things and help the Detroit Police Department as well as the state police. They come into the city too. And we all want making sure that you, as a law-abiding citizens, are safe and secure. And when you see us, that's a factor for them that, wow, the police is out here making sure we're safe, and we love it. We hear it all the time from citizens.
I'm going to interject something that I think is very important for the listeners to understand.
Sure.
That, especially as it relates to Light Up Livernois, is that Detroit enjoys a great relationship with law enforcement.
Yes.
We're one of the few cities in America where we don't have ignorance perpetrated upon the citizens by law enforcement.
Yes.
We have a very great relationship, and people should know that.
Yes.
You know, when all the stuff went down with George Floyd, Detroit was one of the few cities that did not blow.
Yes.
Part of the reason we did not blow because we know all the law enforcement. Their cousin, their brother, their uncle, and they're close by.
Yes.
Where you can make a call.
Yes.
So one thing about Detroit, you can make a call and just about anybody on the phone.
Right.
So when you do these large gatherings like Light Up Livernois,
Right.
World Festival,
Right.
all that,
Right.
we are always at ease. Detroiters know what time it is.
And to piggyback on what Rufus said, it's important to know us as well that we as leaders in law enforcement, the Wayne County Sheriff, African American, Detroit Police Department, the Chief, African American, the Michigan State Police, African American. So when we go into the community and the neighborhoods and all of those, it's about we know them and they know us. You follow me? The ones who think that, oh, I might start from Ruckus today. When they see me, they all know that's my man. We know him. We ain't gonna do that.
Let's go let's go to a deeper place, because when we talk about signature events, in which now Light Up Livernois is a signature event like the fireworks, like the African World Festival. What is the one thing that you would encourage, especially parents, to focus on as a preventative measure before they get here?
Sure.
What is the one thing that you could recommend that they should reinforce?
The parents should be reinforcing knowing where your children are. I think if your children know where you are, that they know where you are, it's a whole different vibe at that point. When we were growing up, and it's a little different when we were growing up, our parents knew where we were. And we better have been back home at 9 o'clock or when the street lights came on. When the street lights came on. But now it's a little different. However, we have to encourage our parents to please know where your children are. If you do that, they'll know that you care, that you're watching where they are. Remember, it used to be something comes on TV. It would say, it's 11 o'clock. Are you sure you know where your children are?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's if we get back to that kind of vibe, we all right.
But you know what, Sheriff? That's coming from not AI. That's artificial intelligence. It's coming from HI, human intelligence.
Exactly.
And most importantly, it's coming from GBI, God bless intelligence.
Yes. And that's all we got to do.
And Nikki, ask them a question once again that's coming from a spiritual place as we sit here lighting up Livernois.
Yes.
I guess I would ask you this.
Do
you attend church? And if you do, shout out your church.
Do I attend church? Let me tell you something about church. I was born and raised in church.
That's right.
My grandfather in Chicago, Illinois, where I did grow up, I was there until 7 years old. We went to church and we had to go to church every day. Every Sunday. And then My uncle became the pastor here in Detroit. My mom moved here in Detroit because she wanted to be with her brother and wanted us to be in Detroit to help him. The late great Bishop David Lee Ellis Sr. All right, he was just incredible.
Yes.
We had to go to church. We had to go to church to see our friends. You follow me?
Yeah.
Because our friends were in church as well. So my church is Greater Grace Temple of the Apostolic Faith. My cousin is the pastor now, Charles Haywood Ellis III. So we out here. I know more about church than I do police. I've been the police for 44 years now. Yeah, thank you all for thinking I don't look that old. But yeah, 44 years every day. All right. I know more about church than I do about.
And I think that's what Rufus understands.
No, there ain't no question.
Because you know what? When it's called Light Up Livernois, I know it's the light that comes from just this excitement on this summer day. But the light also, as I said before, it symbolizes the spiritual energy that shines on why this is a blessed space and why you, Rufus, have been inspired to follow the blessing that allows you to lead this movement. This is not about the moment. Light Up Livernois is a movement for the entire city of Detroit. And in the spirit of this movement, what is the movement asking you to ask this man again?
Again, you know, as you see people come to and from the rules up and down, oftentimes they've never been on this street. And it's reconnecting people who've been on the street but hasn't been in a long time. So what I would ask is, from a standpoint of law enforcement, what some of the psychological barriers can the planners approach before time to give people that sense of safety? Now here, Livernois is a very safe quarter.
Yes.
Most of the city is a very safe quarter.
The neighborhood is.
The neighborhood is.
Yeah.
But there's always things that we can do psychologically to approach things to make it less desirable for people to act up.
Yeah, so we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing so people won't act up. But psychologically, there's things that go on, and you and your business inside, taking care of what you need to do. But outside, there's someone that walks by and feels like, oh, there's somebody else walking by. I might be able to do something to them. As long as we're thinking all the time as government officials, as people like you and the others who own these places on Livernois, as long as we're thinking about, let's always make something good for the people, for all of the people. And if the people that's coming around thinking that they're going to do something, psychologically, we've already approached that in our minds. Like, we know what to do. We're going to bring them in hey, come on in here. If you got somebody walking down the street and they looking a little bit off, if I'm working here, I'm gonna say, hey, come here for a minute. Let me show you what I got in here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, all of those things work. And I think if we do that on a everyday basis while we're out here on Livernois, it'll work. Yeah.
So, lady, you know, I'm now renaming her Lady T. I like to call you. I'm gonna call you Lady T because you are such a pretty lady, and you really do so. Doesn't she symbolize why Detroit is a dynamic city? Look at this talent.
You should actually sing something for us right quick. You should actually do a little something for us. I know all about Brown songs. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if there was a song that would sing, because you know she is one of the dynamic singers from Brownstone. Former, but always a singer that's dynamic still. But is there a song that, if you had to create a song for Light Up Livernois in this spirit, in this moment, what would that song be?
By the way, we got a theme song too.
Oh, we got a theme song.
What's the theme song?
We're gonna let you hear it later.
You're gonna be singing it. You're gonna be singing it.
Go ahead and do your thing.
But what would I sing in this moment? Well, I would piggyback off of the great one here, and I would take it to a spiritual moment. I always say that Detroit has such a rich legacy, especially when it comes to music. I mean, we got the Clark sisters, we have Vanessa Bell Armstrong.
Yes, we do.
And I love
CC Winans out of Detroit.
Oh yeah, the Winans
out of Detroit. Yes.
Out of Detroit. And
right.
I love that you likened Light Up Livernois to the light. God is the light. He's constant light. But if I had to think of anything, I would just say, if I had to encourage somebody out here, I would say, what a friend we have in Jesus.
That's right. All our sins and griefs to bear. That's right, that's right. Oh, what a friend we to carry everything to God in prayer.
I'm just moving my mouth now. Y'all can sing. Y'all can sing.
Faithful. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Jesus knows our every weakness.
And in God in prayer.
Whoa!
Yes.
So,
Yes.
you know what?
Yes.
Light Up Livernois is
Yes.
about not only
Yes.
being inspired by
Right.
all of this activity,
Yes.
but it's inspiring that you, sir,
Yes.
are inspiring this lady
Yes. Yes.
to do what only God can give this
That's right.
with the music
That's
and the
right.
beauty that comes
The
with music.
people need to hear this.
So, as we say now
We may have
goodbye,
to start. Look, for that concert, we may have to charge.
You know what I'm saying?
I need
There you
$2
go.
for everybody.
Hey, y'all can't just us. Y'all got to give us something.
can you look in the camera? Can you look in the Sheriff Ray
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Look in the camera and speak from your heart, soul, and your intellect as you leave this audience with some words of encouragement.
So listen, everybody, let's all be encouraged to do what we know is right and to share that with those who are not doing what is right. I think if we do that as a group, a whole, as one, we're going to get up. We're going to keep our community and our city together.
And Rufus Bartell, one of the greatest events on the planet Earth would be what event?
Light Up Livernois, west side of Detroit.
You have it. Stay
Got
tuned.
it. Got it.
And you know what? I can't tell this group right here that the best is yet to come because they are the very best. So may the best continue. Keep on watching. This is Greg Dunmore, the official Light Up Livernois podcast, powered by Postbeat Media. Stay tuned.
All right, all right. That was good. That all right? That was good? I appreciate y'all letting me in.
All right.
You know? Hold on. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You
Watch
did-
this right here. Watch it.
Yeah. I'm trying to get this off.
Oh, yeah. Let me get it off and it's slipping under your nose. Yeah, got it. Okay, fantastic.
Got it. All right.
All right, Ray. And you know what? I'm praying for you too because see, I've been in this game for a long time, and the devil is busy.
The devil is still
And
busy.
the media,
They try to come after me.
yeah, I know,
every
but you
day.
know what? The
They got
reality
something
is,
they're gonna try to do tomorrow.
but
I
see,
heard.
but see, I vote for the Grammy. I vote.
You saw him at Cannes.
And then I vote for the Grammy Awards, and I interviewed him. I'm the only person that can claim that. I know.
And you was Brooklyn's teacher, so that's all that matters.
I know. I tell you.
Where? Oh, right here.
Welcome back to the official Light Up Livernois podcast, and it is powered by Postbeat Media. I am honored to be sitting next to this lovely lady.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. This is Tisha.
Teacher, but I want you to.
Huh?
But I thought you were going to say Lady T.
Oh, he wants me. What's up? What up, though, Detroit? It's your girl, Lady T, and I am here for Light Up Livernois.
Yeah. And Light Up Livernois is about talking to exciting people, meeting old friends and new friends, and I'm talking to and sitting next to the most exciting Angelique Peterson Mayberry, who is now, she's the honorable because she is the Wayne County Commissioner of District 2.
District 5.
Oh, District 5.
The one we're in right now, the best district in the county.
Okay.
District 5.
Well, you know what? I
It's
know
District 2 for the city.
for the city, okay. And you were also on the school board.
Vice president and president of the school board for the
And
public
you
schools.
also get younger as everybody else looks older.
Well,
So let us know.
I will stop you when you lying.
No, but you know what?
I'm just saying.
I'm going to say this to the bottom of my heart. You know, I would see this lady at all these events, and there's certain people that have the it factor, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. When you would walk in the room, you have the same kind of presence that movie stars have.
Oh, wow.
So that's the truth. I'm not just,
Well,
when you got it, you got it.
I'm honored.
Let us know when you're part of what lights up Livernois, but in your words to this audience, what lights up Livernois?
So, it's really an opportunity to just showcase our neighborhood. I've talked to so many people today. Some live in the area, but there are some who are here from out of town because they have residents who live in the area who thought it was important enough to invite them to this.
Beautiful.
So this is a way, a lot of times in Livernois, I live 2 minutes from here.
Okay.
You won't know what we have to offer unless you get out and walk. You can't see all of this driving down Livernois. You have to get out and you have to walk. And so it gives me great honor and pleasure to not only be a resident of this district, but to serve as the Wayne County Commissioner and to see people walking past with bags, meaning they have supported the businesses right here on Livernois.
And you know what, Tisha, I like to underscore this history making. There is no business district in these United States and maybe even the world that would have this level of ownership.
That's right.
But what adds the second part to it is that there is no business district that is predominantly Black in a neighborhood that has homes that are as exquisite as Sherwood Forest, Palmer Woods, the University District, Green Acres. It is unheard of in this country.
Well, it's almost, I'll be honest with you, it's a dream come true. So when I was younger, I was raised off Joy Road. My mom, my grandma both lived in there. Joy Road, exit 9. So Myers and then Patton, I stayed on Press 2. 9144, quit playing. Okay, well, I'm just But I always wanted to live in this area. When I grew up, I thought if I could just get to Sherwood Forest, because even as a youngster, it was thought of for that area to be the area where not only working class, but you had elected officials, you had appointed officials, you had pastors, you had those who two-parent homes, and they had worked really hard for what they had. And so it is a dream come true. I've been over here 9 years, and I'm super excited to be a resident.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It is beautiful over here. It really is. And I love coming to Light Up Livernois. Like you said, you get to see the people in the neighborhood, people that you don't even know.
That's right.
But you will have a conversation with them if you walk into the store and you're shopping.
Yes.
It's just a beautiful, beautiful coming together of this city, and I love it.
And you know what? Can I brag on these people? See,
okay.
Now, I am biased, but sometimes, if Obama's mother was biased, she had good reason to be biased.
Absolutely.
And the quality of the folk here, we're talking about first-class people. These people are gainfully employed.
That's right, absolutely.
They are professional.
Absolutely.
And also, although we have a very strong African-American community, but we also have other people that shine bright that are Asians and Latinos
That's right.
and white Americans.
That's right.
So it really is that powerful C word. This is an all-inclusive community.
Well, you know, our race, we love everybody.
Yes.
We're inclusive of everybody. And that's why I'm very proud to be a woman of color, because in my mind, that's how I was raised, to be inclusive of everyone. And so people can come here, they're safe. You know, I've heard people say, oh, we heard so much about Detroit, but this is so much different. And so it's good for them to come and see for themselves.
They have to see for themselves. Yes. We were speaking earlier, we always hear people, give Detroit a negative connotation. But it is a beautiful melting pot of people. And another thing that I really love about Detroit, when I'm traveling, if I go places, people will say things like, when they ask me, where are you from? And I say Detroit. Oh, I knew it. It's a certain swag you all have. It's a certain way you all carry yourself. I think, and I say all the time, because we come from rich legacy.
Absolutely.
The city of Detroit has some rich legacy.
Absolutely.
And I want to,
really
and you know what? I want to underscore too that when we talk about community, and yes, Detroit has the largest African American population of any major city in these United States. So I was talking to some non-African Americans, and they asked me concerning an event that they knew it was going to be predominantly black. They said, will we be welcome because we're not black? And I said, well, now put it this way. I said, have you ever gone to a Chinese restaurant and
been turned away?
And have you ever told anybody, will I be welcome because I'm not Chinese? Because I'm not Chinese.
Absolutely not.
We welcome everybody. Well, not everybody. We welcome everybody that has a good heart and a good spirit.
Absolutely.
Then you're welcome.
Well, even if you look at some of these areas, they are no longer populated as they used to be. So, sometimes you're in areas and you have to really stop and think, where am I? Because you're in Chocolate City, but certain areas it's very diverse. And they, those who are not people of color, they've made a very conscious decision to move to the areas and where they stay.
Yeah.
So I love it.
And you know what?
I'm always shouting from the D.
Yeah.
You dropped the word. I'm looking, we're across the street from Good Cakes and
Bakes.
Which, we got an assortment of shops on Livernois. But when you said Chocolate City, I'm thinking in terms of DC. I used to live in DC, and I thought that we're more chocolate city than DC. But there's a metaphor.
Okay.
Chocolate is very delicious.
And it's rich.
And it's rich.
It's rich.
And it's beautiful.
And people want it.
And there you go. So when we say that we're also a chocolate city, don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. It is outstanding. And I think, it feels good to see young people here today too.
Right.
Because for them, this is history in the making, and they're here to be a part of this. They can talk about when they get older. I remember back in the day, we used to go to Light Up Livernois.
Right.
Those are the memories that I would hear my mom talk about. 20 grand, things of that nature, because it was for them.
Right.
And so now this is history making right here.
It is history making, and it gives them an opportunity to see what they can do with their lives, what they can be. All of these Black-owned businesses, you can have I keep speaking to my son because he's 18.
Okay.
I don't call him that YN stuff.
Oh no, you better not. You better not. I know that's right. I know that's right.
I can tell you where he is right now. He's on his way here.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? But he gets an opportunity to see the businesses. He gets an opportunity to see a Rufus Bartell.
Yes, absolutely.
He gets a chance to see an Al Bartell.
That's right.
These businesses, and that's what they need to see.
Oh, absolutely.
They need to see
and
that.
And I think it's important too, because being a good parent, and right now the elephant in the room is that this thing they call the teen takeover, and it's received international attention. But I want the world to know that the teenagers that are not the nice teenagers, they do not represent the majority of young people.
Absolutely not. Let me tell you this, Mr. Dummer. So 2 weeks ago, I went purposely to a space where they said they're gonna have teen takeover. So me and a couple more volunteers, we went. And we spent almost an hour talking to those young people.
Oh, wow.
And what they said was that, thank you for just spending some time with us. I went as an auntie, right? I had water. Are you hydrated? Where's your water? Oh, no, we don't have water. But more importantly, because I love me some young people, I love me some seniors, but I made myself available to hear from them.
That's right.
And so they're brilliant. One was a barber. The other one, they were building mini bikes. So like we just got to make sure that the resources that we have and the opportunities that we have is afforded to them,
right.
even right now. So yeah, I don't subscribe to a team takeover. They were gathering in a space because we say they're not taking over nothing.
That's right. That's
Now
right.
we loving on them, and
right.
they're gathering,
That's right.
but they're not taking over
That's
nothing.
right.
So now, sharing some love on this event,
Mm.
and I really do want anybody watching this to know that when you come to Detroit, be you in Metro Detroit, be you on another side of Detroit, that to experience this, to be encouraged to support it, I want you, Commissioner Mayberry, to say something that will be that like 1 minute commercial of why Light Up Livernois has to be part of your things to do list.
So listen, you don't have to guess about what the impact of Light Up Livernois is. Come and see for yourself. You will get one of a kind items. This isn't mall shopping here. Let's be real clear.
That's right.
These are skillful business people who have been thoughtful about the product and the service that they're going to bring to you. And everyone is going to be treated like royalty when you come into the place.
That's right.
My name is known not because I'm a commissioner, it's known because I patronize these places.
Yeah.
So we can't just talk about it if we're going to, one, support it, or two, market it to get other people over here. They should never worry about if they're going to stay in business for lack of foot traffic.
That's right. I love that.
So come.
And word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Come and experience Livernois.
And you know what? As I said before, this is a spiritual place because there was a time in our history, and I remember when I was very young, they were redlining in this neighborhood.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
you could not live here
Wow.
if you were of,
Wow.
well, you get where I'm coming from.
Oh, absolutely.
But now we are living in this neighborhood, living in the most magnificent homes, being able to walk to some of the most magnificent shops.
Yeah.
And that means it's a spiritual place because, see, for me, I don't care if you're black or not, wherever there's an environment that symbolizes hope, it means something.
There you go.
That's
And
it.
and all the things, and we control.
We control.
That's a big deal.
That's a big
People want
deal.
control. We control
That's a
this
big
space
deal.
here. That's
Yes.
why people are trying to get over here.
Yes.
It's like your vote. If it didn't mean anything, they wouldn't be trying to suppress it. If this wasn't a big deal over here, people wouldn't be trying to get over here.
And it is a big deal.
It's
And
a
you know
big
what?
deal.
As we say, because this lady, I want everyone to know her because I'm seeing you, I'm saying it in Congress, I'm seeing you in Washington.
All right, y'all
I'm
heard
seeing
him right.
that.
Okay,
And
your
then
lips say his ears.
and then I may even see you in a movie.
Oh, wait a
Yes, you
minute
will.
now.
Baby, both
An
you and
acting debut.
both you and her
Okay.
will be in the movie. So tell the audience before we say see you later in just a sentence what the spirit is telling you from your heart, soul, and your intellect to tell the audience concerning Light Up Livernois.
So my heart is telling me that if you are within the sound of my voice, I want you to hear this message. We control the narrative. So you have to come and experience this for yourself. Don't let people tell you about it. Take that almighty dollar, because we are the #1 consumers. Take that almighty dollar and spend it in neighborhoods so that we can give back. It can nourish and be flourished. We can't do that. We do that to everybody else, but we don't do that to our own. And your measuring stick for everybody else needs to be just as gracious as it is for us.
You're watching the official podcast for Light Up Livernois. I'm Greg Dummer from Postbeat Media, and I'm sitting next to these two lovely ladies. Give them a kiss because that means a lot.
What up, though?
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. I love that.
Martin Luther King is 3 years now.
How you doing? Sharufa, she talking to you.
Hey, honey, how are you?
Yeah, okay.
She did the whole, he did everything.
Okay.
Yeah, all the PR media stuff.
Okay.
Welcome back to the official Light Up Livernois podcast powered by Postbeat Media. Now, this has been exciting for a lot of reasons. It's exciting because I'm sitting next to Tisha Lott. And she was the great voice behind Brownstone that was managed by Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson did. He did. He was
Yes.
the first and only one to sign the group Brownstone.
Right.
That's
So,
Man,
and
I did not know that.
And I'm also-
You just forgot because we met 1,000 times with Nikki.
I know with Nikki, right? I remember y'all. I remember seeing you when you came in.
And I'm also sitting.
I was just making sure that was you because I didn't want to say.
You didn't want to say right now how it is. Yes.
Nikki needs to come home more.
Yeah.
I said she needs to come home more.
You're going to have to send that back to Sydney.
and to our end, I'm sitting to a man that understands the power of when his passion and his purpose is about uplifting businesses in the city of Detroit. Nobody does it better than Rufus Bartell.
No doubt.
And there are people you meet in your life that are so spiritually empowered by their journey. And we know the power of triumph and tragedy and triumph. There's nobody that speaks to that more than now Reverend Kwame Kilpatrick, the former mayor of Detroit.
Man, I'm just happy to be on Livernois, man.
Something I must say. To set the record straight, Greg. So we've had a lot of conversations about the emergence of Livernois and what's been happening in the neighborhood, right? Sometimes we don't get it accurate. If you ask me, it's going to always be my best effort to get it accurate. So we talking about emerging neighborhoods. This man,
I know where you're going.
kicked this off.
That is correct.
Let's call it like it is.
That's right.
And so what he's able to do is to bring the attention to the neighborhood. And earlier, of course, you had Comey Young, you had some mayors in between Comey Young.
Yeah.
And who picked up the mantle and really started just what we're on right now is this man right here.
That's the
And
fact.
let me share something else with you. I had the opportunity to be on two of his teams, the transformation team and the transition team. And his command in the room was so brilliant. He was so far ahead of the game on how a city should function. And the way that the team that we assemble the pieces and get it moving, even when there was no budget. What people don't understand is, you guys, no question about it.
It's right there.
That's right. You guys that was building in the middle of the recession. First of all, you gotta let that simmer a little bit. He was building 6-7 hotels in the middle of the recession. The rest of the country was in a recession. This brother right here, I admire him. He is my brother. I might be a few years younger than him or a few years older than him.
Depending on what day it is.
Depending on what day it is. But I love his family. I love his mom, the whole family. He's been my brother since day one. And we got to tell this story about Detroit, the resurgent train, and we got to be active.
That's right.
We got to give everybody these flowers. Anybody knows, you talk to me, you can't say nothing about what this man is doing.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to say something else, and I've started here in Mary, too. This assembly of young talent has not been seen before.
No doubt.
Now we're starting to see it again with Mary, but he started the assembly of young talent, giving them opportunity. Because oftentimes, you don't have 10 billion years in experience, sometimes you can't get in the room.
That's right.
He went the exact opposite. He took the young talent, put them in the room.
That's right.
And we were able to attract additional young talent to the city as a result of that. So I didn't want to steal his shine, but I had to say that.
And you know what? You got to, Reverend Kilpatrick, you have to be tested to have a testimony.
No doubt.
And as we talk about Light Up Livernois, and I said this before, it's the light of people shopping and having fun, but it's the light that comes from a power greater than you and all of us. So I want you to speak to the audience about the importance of especially Black ownership that should be supported by everybody.
Yeah. You know, first let me just thank Rufus, and just, you know, every time I'm here, I'm almost choked up a little bit because this is the realization of the vision. You know, this was what it was. We said we're gonna go to these major intersections. We started with 3, and we came to 7 Mile. Livernois was one of our intersections, Jefferson and Chalmers. But nobody has done it like 7 Mile Livernois. in terms of the original vision of the Detroiters participating in Detroit business entrepreneurship, and even in shopping and going, because this is the longest contiguous and largest Black tax base in the state. You know, when you talk about from Greenfield to Woodward, from 8 Mile to 6 Mile, there's more money there than a whole lot of cities in Michigan. And so right in the middle of that was this old avenue of fashion. And Rufus Bartell, let me tell you, that dude, boy, if he wasn't here, I'd tell you about him. He was like, we got to do it, Livernois, Livernois. So when we did select Livernois, Rufus came to the very first meeting, and we went to work, and he went to work. We could not have what's out here if he wasn't personally recruited. He turned into a real NCAA recruiter, trying to get people to move in. He got his brother off the east side. He got a lot of these folks to really come through, his cousins, his friends, other entrepreneurs. They came and opened up this street, and this is what, look at this, it's jam-packed. All the stores are open. You can get everything from cake to a crab cake. You can get pie to a pizza. So this is an incredible demonstration of what our people can do if they just get the opportunity. They can participate at the highest levels of economic development and entrepreneurship in the city.
And you know what, I've also said that because this was a neighborhood that at one time we could not live in, nor could we own businesses in this neighborhood. And I'm talking about African Americans. So now for me, this symbolizes when the dream becomes the reality.
Yes.
And so this is a spiritual place.
Yes.
I want you to speak to that as you relate to this particular audience.
When we went out to Vegas and we first started to focus on this neighborhood, and we were just intent on getting a big box store, and that's when we got the Home Depot right there on 7 Mile and Schaefer. We were selling this neighborhood without the numbers. So we hadn't done numbers in the past. We just knew that it would work. And I was able to talk to the CEO and the board of Home Depot, and I made a spiritual argument. I told them that Detroit right now is so fighting to be recognized, fighting to have retail, fighting to play big as we are as a city. And if you put that there, we'll close Northland.
All right.
I told them that, and we did exactly that. And so that Home Depot, when it started to thrive, this community was just the second place to go. And what we've seen in Sherwood Forest and in University District and even Bagley District over here is the property values have gone through the roof. I mean, my cousin bought a house in Palmer Woods 10 years ago for $75,000. It's worth well over $500,000 now. And that happened when all of this grew together and people understood that this is a place that they want to walk, live, have recreation, and have their kids feel safe. And this is one of those streets where that is happening in Detroit. And I think it's symbolic of the rest of the country. The country is looking at Livernois. I don't think there's another contiguous African-American business strip anywhere like this in America.
And bordering this kind of neighborhood, we're talking
Absolutely.
about Black ownership.
You're talking about $1 million houses.
We're talking about $1 million houses.
And it's a Black dude in there.
There is no place, I think, on the planet that can claim this.
Absolutely. This is exactly the dream. This is the vision. You know, I don't mind other mayors taking credit for stuff. I really don't. I just want Detroit to win.
Right.
I'm a Detroit kid. Ultimately, you know, when I was going to the Considine Rec Center or Joseph Walker Williams, and Detroit was the butt of all the jokes, and we was running home because our young boys was chasing us or something. I just wanted Detroit to play big on an international scale, and people think that you play internationally when you go do something global, but local. If you have local dynamism and local impact, it tells a story around the world. And Detroit's comeback didn't start with downtown; it started with the neighborhoods.
That's why, you know, the story got to be told accurately. Only because you want the people to know the facts. Not because you fuck somebody up or down. The facts are more important than anything else. You gotta tell her like my mom used to say TIS, right? So I'm always giving that story. I'm always giving the Coleman Young story. I'm always giving, you know, even the Duggan story. And now we have the Mary story.
Yeah.
So we started talking about the jump off after a long slumber that the city had. This brother was the jump off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now Duggan took that trajectory. Now Marius take that trajectory, and rightfully so. Because from a political standpoint and economic standpoint, you can't afford to start all over. It got to be a continuum. And that's how you approach it.
And you know, they say that there is power in prayer.
Yes.
And now we're all together because of Light Up Livernois.
Yes.
Now there's an audience watching, and they can be any place because of social media.
Right.
So, Reverend Kilpatrick, I know now you pray for folk because that's what you do.
Yes.
But what would you like the people watching to pray for you? What would you hope that they would pray for you?
Well, you know, at first that's an excellent question. I've never been asked that on the interview, Greg. That was powerful. And I'm gonna take the opportunity. I ain't even gonna shirk it. Listen, I need you to pray for my health. I'm 56 years old. I have a 2-year-old daughter. I have 5 sons and a 2-year-old daughter. And I promised her that I was gonna be at her wedding. So I need y'all to pray for my health, but also pray for my family. You know, this is one of those times when you're out here and you preaching and teaching and you in the kingdom of God, you come under many attacks. And so I would like for the people who are prayer warriors to pray for. If you don't know God, go ahead, just say it, just put up a good word for it. But if you're a prayer warrior and you know how to fight in the spirit, please pray for my family. And then lastly, pray for this city. You know, this is my hometown. It's always going to be my hometown. I don't care what happened, what they say. I am Detroit everywhere I go. I was in Germany. I went to the auto show they had over there. They took me over there. And this is years later. I ain't been married in 15 years. And as soon as I walked in Germany, the guy said, Detroit. I said, goodness gracious. You Detroit, German. So I said, you know, pray for our city. Pray that we continue this comeback. Pray that the people of the city of Detroit will come out their slumber and understand that they're kings and queens and they can play big, not just on the national stage, but the international stage. Don't let nobody tell you you ain't who you are. And that's what I want us to pray for ourselves.
Now, Tisha.
Too many Bartels around. You see all these Bartels?
All the Bartels.
All the Bartels.
D for dynamic business. But listen, Tisha, we've been doing the talking. We're sitting next to this lovely co-host. Tisha, please ask Reverend Kilpatrick something that the Spirit is telling you to ask him.
Well, I don't have anything to ask, but I will say this. I remember Dad Shear, the late great Bishop John Henry Shear. I remember when he stood flat-footed in Bailey's Cathedral at one of our jurisdictional meetings, and he said, we ain't throwing him away.
That's good.
He said, that's our boy. We're going to keep uplifting our boy, and we're going to keep loving our boy. And I can say from that day to this one, if you say Kwame Kilpatrick, that's our boy. And we did not have, and to piggyback off of what you said, Rufus, that part, to piggyback off of what you said, there was so much negativity going on and a negative light being shined or shown on Detroit. But when you came into office, it was a different respect factor that came back into play that we had been longing for years. Yeah. So I'm like Rufus, you can't say nothing negative about the Kwame Kilpatrick to me, because I'm going to always remember that you are our homeboy.
You know, thank you for that, first of all. And I got to say this, Bishop John Shear, that's my man. I just, I was ordained by Bishop J. Drew Shear. And I told Bishop Shear that, but my main man was John Shear, man. Listen, he put his cleats on, stood in the ground, and he stood up for me, and he prayed for me, and he hugged me. Boy, you better listen, boy. There you go. That was my man. Yeah, get on. We're not going to do none of that. That's him. But, when I came in office, it was personal. We had the Super Bowl looming. The NFL gave us specifics. So we had to do campus marches. We totally rerouted downtown. We built 6 hotels in 5 years. We did Livernois and 7 Mile. We did Gratiot. We did all of that you see on Gratiot. We're doing Harmony Park and all of that. But then we went out to Jefferson and Chalmers. It's just so much. The riverfront, moms, my God. Shout out to my mama, man. We needed like $50 million to get the riverfront and the whole phase 1 going. And we came up with 5. She came up with the rest, And I said, Mama, all the cement berms, all the different stuff that happened, all of that DeQuinda cut stuff. I know we don't get credit for it, but I don't need credit. I need to see Detroiters involved. And if Detroiters are involved, we won.
And you said, shout out to your mama, when you acknowledge the name of ancestor and African ideology, special blessings are bestowed. So this is the light that comes from Congresswoman Carolyn Fitzpatrick, and she's smiling on us from heaven above. But I'm going to ask you this question too. Somebody told me that, well, you know, what he is doing now is that he is ministering to people who were incarcerated who are now back in the society. So he is the voice of the voiceless. And I told him, no, he's not the voice of the voiceless. He is the voice of people who have voices that want to be heard. So can you tell the audience during this Light Up Livernois moment, what is something that these people who have voices that you know, something that you can share with the audience that they would want you to say, because they're not voiceless, they have voices and they want to be heard?
You know, first I need to say that my people not politicians no more. My people are people who've been locked up, whether they've been in state prison or federal. They're my folks. They're my people. I'm one of them now. And I understand what it's like to come out of prison with nothing. Jelani and Jaleel took me to Walmart and bought me drawers and socks and toothbrush. I had nothing. And nobody from my old life helped me make the transition to this new life. I had to start all the way over. But now I know that was all God, because I had to understand the whole process. I've been in solitary confinement for 225 days, 69 days, 70 days. I've been in lockdown for months and months on the yard because somebody got stabbed. I've seen the worst. I've experienced the worst, but I came out of it as pure gold. You know, I met the Lord in that place. I thought I was a Christian all the way to June 9th, 2014. I found out I didn't know him, and I got to know him. But what I wanted people to know is you're not by yourself when you come out. A lot of us come out, we feel lonely, we feel detached, we still feel guilty and condemned. But there's a lot of people who want to put their arms around you. And not just that, man, go get you a few things. Go help you out, help you get started, go point you in the right direction. Give you a list of companies that hire you, so you know you ain't got to keep hearing no, or you got a felony so you can't get a job. I couldn't lease an apartment. I couldn't get a loan. I've been through it. You know, I ended up getting married and bringing my wife into this experience, and they attack her too. And so I understand what it's like to make that transition from being caged, a slave under the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Michigan, and then have to make the transition, and people talk like they want to help you, but in the meantime, they're trying to kill you again. And so I know what that feels like. I'm one of you, you one of me, and we got help. If you need some help, hit me, movementalministries.org. I want to get you some help and get you some assistance, because I want you to know you are not by yourself. It's a whole community of us, and we ready to help you.
Yeah, now when you talk also about what you have been through, and you really do symbolize for a lot of us that really get you. See, there are people who get you who are not trying to get you.
I like that.
Yeah, he's one of them. I'm one of them. There's a lot of people out there because
he doesn't.
You heard that?
Listen, he doesn't have an off switch.
No, ever.
But I say this because you really do symbolize that when you are kicked, that they can huff and puff and they cannot blow your house down, because believe me, you wouldn't be here right now if you weren't ordained, blessed, and highly favored to spread the message that only can come from a power, as I said before, greater than you and all of us. Yeah. So in this moment, Light Up Livernois, I believe that something is being communicated to you in that brain, that brilliant brain of yours, that I want you to share right now with the audience. I don't care what it is.
You know, what I was just thinking about, I want to say, and by the grace of God, you just said that. Detroit, y'all protect Mary Sheffield. Protect her. This is not about whether you support her or not, like her or not, think this about her or not. This is about your family here in Detroit having economic power, having spiritual dimension and dominance and dominion here in the city of Detroit. But it's also about you protecting your own. When people see that you don't protect your own, they don't believe you when you say Black Lives Matter. They don't believe you when you go to the polls. They don't believe you when you say you have power and you don't. It ain't about who you like. It's about teams. And one thing you can learn from the Jewish community here, you can learn from the Chaldean community, a lot of them don't like each other either. But when it's time for the community to come together, they get behind their people. And in Detroit, I don't care how many other people move here, you're still going to be an 80% African-American city. And you got to protect people in leadership. And if it's something that they do and you don't like, you go to them. You talk to them. Get the preachers like John Sheard or J. Drew Sheard to get up and y'all can Rufus, because Rufus going to tell you the truth. And so you gotta make sure that you keep the sense of community. What's different about Chicago or Dallas or Charlotte or Atlanta than Detroit is those places are people were all new people there. There ain't really no sense of community no more. Here in Detroit, this is still a community. It's still your city. Protect the people that lead you and make sure you hold them accountable in a way that's also undergirded with love. That's what I have to say. The reason that this is Detroit, we love Coleman Young. You know, we supported Coleman Young. Dennis Archer was mayor. People didn't really know him, but we loved Dennis Archer. We didn't just, oh man. Now, because of social media generation, they can just tell you who not to like, who to cancel. Don't forget, this is one community. And when you start hating your own, you lose so much. When I came back here, I say this, and this is, when I came back here, I saw all of the different cash businesses in the city of Detroit. Now I'm thinking like a mayor. And I said, wow, who owns all these cash businesses? And no Detroiters were owning them. You don't understand how much that shocks the system of Detroit. That's why this place is so special in Livernois. In Light Up Livernois, what you're celebrating is not just people got stores. You're not celebrating its development. You're celebrating that the heart of the citizens of the city of Detroit came together and produced a strip that's unlike any other strip in the United States of America, and it's your people owning it. That's huge, and you gotta support that.
Now, you know what you're speaking, not from, once again, I said it to someone else, not from AI, that's artificial intelligence. You're speaking from not even HI, that's human intelligence. You're speaking from GBI, that's God bless.
Push the levers of those that make decisions about things like this. And he also has access not just to power, but to the hearts of the people in power to understand that this community has to continue to be a beacon of light because it's not just about Detroit, but more about Detroiters. And so he'll make that case, and I think he'll know who to make it to. And I think Livernois will be fine. And if he has any trouble doing that, we're going warfare prep for him. It'll be all right.
But now, how does he handle the haters, though? How does he handle the haters?
That's good. So in the natural, so in the spiritual, you can't get stronger without resistance. I didn't even feel like I can win the mayor's race until they told me I couldn't. You ain't gonna win, you can't win, all this kind of stuff. I was like, what? That Linwood come about you. I ain't about to lose, It's more of that resistance provokes you to work harder, focus more. It also provokes you to organize. And I believe that you got to ignore the haters. You got to know they're there and where they are because you got a strategic mind. But you can't move because they're saying something or because they're doing something, you do something. He has an agenda. I know what he wants to do. Do it.
Now,
I'm sorry to share something that he's getting his second term, right? And he was saying that somebody else is leading the call, right? So him and I talked. I called Mo Blackwell. We got 500 barbers, retailers at the Manuga Mansion, right? He went to this press ain't over the street, he's going to talk. And what he was talking about was that he was talking to people directly. There's conversation that goes throughout the course of the city and barbershop, hair salon, clothing store. And most of it is misinformation. But when you hear from the source, when he spoke to him and told him what the plan for the city was, he spoke to them and told them what their role in the city was, they went out and spread the word, and he won the second election. Is that not accurate?
That's accurate. It was the hairstylists, the barbers, the nurses at the hospital, the casino workers. When we did the casino agreements, I put in there that 55% of the workers had to be Detroit residents. So when you go in all three casinos, y'all gonna notice something that you don't see nowhere else in no other city. The employees mostly African American, not because we put black in there, but because we put Detroit in there. And that's something that I think why you got to have somebody in that position that understands community, that understands how to talk to community. is so important. And just like he wants to change Livernois right now, you got to get the people on the street, the people in the neighborhoods to understand why this is important for everybody. And I think if Detroit gets back to that, this will be a powerhouse.
Now, do you pray for your haters? Because Malcolm X said in scripture, forgive them for they know not what they do. But some folks, you cannot forgive them because they know exactly what they do. What say you, Reverend Kilpatrick? Do you pray for your haters?
I can give you a perfect example. Yes. Judge Edmonds, who was the judge in my federal case, I didn't read a Detroit paper for about 12, 13 years. I didn't read no papers. I didn't get no news. Everybody in the joint told me, hey, man, we ain't going to tell you about stuff that's going on. But the judge she got Parkinson's disease. So we went to the chapel that day, and we in Bible study, and I said, hey, man, the judge in my case got Parkinson's. And the teacher, Brother Jerry, he said, did you pray for her? And it was a moment where I was like, ooh, because she was like denying everything. She was hard. Man, that case was terrible. But that day, something broke because we stood up, 7 men with prison khakis on. We prayed for her. And that was in 2016. She's still alive in 2026. And at that particular point, they were talking about her health was failing. So I know prayer works, but I also got free of a whole lot of stuff from praying for her. So a lot of times people don't want to pray because they mad at that person, but they don't know the bondage they in for not releasing that. And I was in so much bondage, with my children and different stuff and mad. And when I prayed for her, things broke over me. Nelson Mandela said, you having unforgiveness and harboring is like drinking poison and thinking that the other person is going to die. So when you release that will that you have to punish somebody else because you feel they punish you, you free up yourself to do amazing works in there.
Well, they say that what you put out, you get
no question
back. But sometimes what you put out, you get out.
That's good.
And who among us without sin throw the first
stone?
That's good. I want you to speak to the folk right now because you symbolize that, you're flawed, but you know why you're flawed? Because you're human.
No doubt.
And all of us are flawed.
No doubt.
And you're in the public light, and you now have been blessed and highly favored by God to sit here in this seat right now. You're blessing us with your GBI, God-blessed intelligence.
It's been amazing. I had a great conversation with Bishop Jakes, and he was sitting there talking to me, and we going back and forth, and he said, you know what? You're more interesting now. He said, it's the pain, it's the tension, it's the trial, the trauma, the tribulation. It's made you a much more interesting guy. And I thought about that, and I think about all the people that I admire. When I was young, I admired Coleman Young so much. He was my hero, but he wasn't no ordinary mayor. He had been through high highs, low lows, ins and outs. He had to scratch and crawl coming out of segregation. But what made him was the trial, the trauma, and the tribulation. And so I respect people that have been through something. And I know some people out there right now, you suffering, you going through it. You've seen that. I've been through a few things, and I've been in real trouble. A lot of people say they in trouble, and they ain't in real trouble. I've been in real trouble. And what I'm telling you is, it's not happening to you. It's happening for you. And if you can change or adjust your thinking in it, you'll see your way right out of it. But at the end of it all, you absolutely know that it wasn't necessary, but it built you in a way that nothing else could. And so I just want to let people know that if you're going through hell and high water, at the end of the process, you're going to thank God that he brought you through, because your muscles, your spiritual, soulful, and sometimes even bodily muscles intensified and got stronger through that. And that's what this is all about. This life thing is about growing from one place to the other. It's about overcoming. It's about going back and having some apologies. Go face the people. It was hard to look at my sons and tell them that I was a failed man, that I messed up, that I let you down. And they looking at me and crying, and us coming together. Not them my guys. But I had to come to the point where I had to humble myself and deal with the failures that I made. And going through that is freeing.
Right.
That's bondage. That was change. People ask me, how does it feel to be free? That's the wrong question. The question is, how does it feel to be out of prison?
Right. Okay.
I've been free a long time. If you ask anybody who I was even in prison with, They'll tell you, Ruth, man, that dude was walking around every day, man. We thought he had 2 years. That dude walking around with 28 on his back. Because I got free a long time before I was free from that prison. But it all came from me understanding that I had to humble myself. And there's a lot of people out there, you trying to carry all that on your back and give it to God. I'm telling you, give it to him. Give it to him.
Do you advocate though? Because you know what? Once again, there's a spiritual energy that I know guides you, but as a human, and this is something that I'm so concerned about because I'm an advocate of mental health. My mother's brother was a psychiatrist.
Yes.
And I know when you're put her, you see a podiatrist, when your teeth, you see a dentist. But do you feel that on your journey, and I know that the spiritual counseling has uplifted your mindset.
Yes, sir.
But what do you say about mental health awareness?
You know, I had this question asked at our last Bible study. It's actually on YouTube, and we talked about a person who commits suicide. Do they go straight to hell? And I said, where's that in the Bible? Because we got to understand that if we agree that there's physical sickness that can come to a believer can get cancer. A believer can have a heart attack. A blood-washed, born-again believer can break their leg in two, get in a car accident. So if you could be sick in your body, we have to ask the question, can you be sick in your mind? And the Bible talks about fainting in your mind, sickness in the mind. And, you know, a lot of this stuff that we try to over-spiritualize, you know, I sat, and I got to use, I don't know if I've ever said this, I was in a solitary confinement cell the first time I got locked up. They put me in 5 weeks in solitary in a Michigan State prison. And, man, I was starting to go crazy in there. I'd never been locked up like that. I mean, I was a good kid, man. I didn't do that. So I'm in there, and I seriously thought about killing myself. And I was contemplating it. I was reasoning that it'd be better that if I was dead. And it was real to me. And then like in two or 3 days, it just broke. And I was like, man, I've been tripping in here. But it showed me something. Because I was absolutely convinced that was the right thing to do.
What made it broke though? What made it broke?
It was, I believe, because I didn't know God then, but I believe that he was showing me even then that the enemy can have that kind of effect on your mind. So if you can be redeemed from murder, then you can be redeemed from self-murder.
Right.
And sickness in the mind is something else, man. And I just, it's real. And I know you need prayer, you need deliverance and all of that, but you also have people who are professionals that can help you. You also have people that God has gifted to be able to speak into your life, speak into your soul, that to help you come past and through some of the things you need to get through. And I know sometimes we overemphasize the religion, but this is not about religion. This is about Christ. Kingdom. And in the kingdom, there are many gifts. There are gifts in medicine, there are gifts in nursing, there are gifts in teaching, there are gifts it's not just the fivefold ministry. And there have been some people who've been gifted to speak life into death situations who are doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists. And you got to give them an opportunity to work God in you. And I hope that people seek help when they get to that point. I was a suicide counselor in prison. I sat at the tank with men who were wanting to commit suicide. And I had to sit there and watch them and make sure they didn't kill themselves. And they tried, I had to hit a button. But I always talked to them and would reason with them because I had the experience too. And it was good. It was good to see that most people, if you get them past that mental assault that they're going through, then you can talk to them about being free.
Because you know what, the worst thing you can lose is not your ability to walk, talk, or see. The worst thing you can lose is your mind.
My mom had dementia, and I always tell people, and Rufus and Al and everybody, they were great help to me because they went through the same thing. But I watched this congresswoman, this great woman who's been all over the world, who rode on Air Force One. I watched her go before she went, to the point where she could not speak. She cannot walk. She cannot do anything. And I miss my mom, and I cried in the bed with my mama, holding her like I was a little baby. Mama, I miss you. And she was sitting right there. There's nothing worse than watching somebody lose their mind. And in the prison, I saw savages, people who absolutely lost their humanity. And a lot of times we think that happens in the sexual realm. No, I've watched people get gutted and stabbed and killed. 5 minutes later after they do it, they go, what have I done? I've watched people lose their minds and turn into something that was not human. and we gotta protect our minds. This is where the battlefield is. And so we need people to understand you need help. You need Jesus. You do. You do. And Jesus can fix it. But sometimes he want to fix it through help.
And you know, Rufus, one of the great things about Light Up Livernois is that he's running right there, that guy right there. You know, I told him, I said, come to Light Up Livernois. I met him at a political rally, and he's out encouraging people to vote. Okay. And so, but guess what? He was incarcerated for several years.
Okay.
And he also is working with people who are former people who were incarcerated.
That's good.
So I asked him, I said that, have you met Reverend Kilpatrick? And he says, well, you know what? I'm not totally convinced if he's for real.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, come to Light Up Livernois. And he has a ministry that there's a synergy between what you're doing and he's doing. So I'm going to make sure that he gets your contact information. He's right there. It says Black Voters
right here?
Matter. Yeah. And so he came here because, And so I just,
my seat. He can prove it.
yeah, come up here. Come in here. Come right now. Come right now.
I don't, you know, when people say that, and I wait for the brother.
Come right now.
You know,
This is,
what's up, bro? How you feel?
sit down right here. Sit down right here.
What's up, bro? How you feel, man? You good? Man, you looking good, man. Oh, man.
Now,
all right, bro. How's it going? What's your name, bro? Blake Kwame, man.
Now,
nice to meet you. Definitely. Yeah,
I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real because see, his ministry is connected to what you're doing. And you told me, you said that keeping it real, you said, I want to really feel it in my heart that Reverend Kilpatrick is doing this because of what God has instructed him to do. So tell him, ask him a question, and let him answer, and keep it real.
So look, my name is Blake Lindsay. I'm Chairman of Power to People First and CEO of Noise Youth Initiative. I do a lot of political consulting, resources, grassroots work out in the community. I'm a returning citizen. I actually got a story behind being in the same facility and correctional facility.
Okay.
But to make a long story short, you already say you have a past, and a lot of us do have a past. The question I want to ask you is this: what was your redemption like during those times you were incarcerated, and how are you really making those changes so people don't look at your past and make sure you don't just the work that you're doing now?
Let me just start. First, thanks for the question. I think that when somebody is so-called high profile, people that are not high profile think that it's somehow you had a different thing. And let me get you on. You had people you knew. You had a house. You had folks that, and so we already have talked about that. I take the position. I was just talking to the former chief of staff to the mayor in Atlanta who went to prison for 7 years and got out. Nobody would help her. In a lot of ways, it's worse for us. And let me just explain what I mean by that. Everybody know you went to prison. Everybody, and they won't help you. So I couldn't call nobody when I had to move in with my mama. My sons, Jelani and Jaleel, bought me drawers and a t-shirt. They took me to Walmart, clowning me, talking about, put that down. You can't have that, you know, clowning me like I used to do them. Nobody from my old life will return my call. I lived in a room upstairs in my mother's house for 6 months. I stayed there, and I thought I can get out, and I stayed there another 2 years with her. And so for 2.5 years, I was in my mom's house for the first time since I was 18 years old. Nobody would hire me. Nobody would give me an opportunity. But my redemption story, and this is how great God is. On June 9th, 2014, I gave Christ my life. And I'm the kind of guy, I'm all the way in. If we talking about sin, I'm all the way in. If we going to Vegas to talk to some bros, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not about to act like I'm going to do some church stuff. We all here. Nobody in my crew was not in adultery. Everybody is here on the same thing. I'm all the way in on whatever I'm doing. When I gave Jesus my life, I meant it all the way. There was no halfway. There was no... I'm all the way in. And for the next 6 years, that's all I did. I studied the word. I took several classes. I took Bible class. I went to Rhema. I went to a lot of different schools and institutions. I got ordained. I taught Bible studies. I taught 2-3 Bible studies a day. I preached on Sunday at the 4 different chapels that I was in. But God was preparing me to be his preacher. And so a lot of things that I saw while I was in there, while I was out here being married, I couldn't be that kind of preacher. So when you say, is he real or is he, I don't know how to be nothing but real whatever I am. I don't know how to do this or this. And if Detroiters don't know nothing else, when I was mayor, I was all the way mayor. I was going to be there at 3 in the morning, 3 in the evening, 5 at night. And that's how I am as a pastor. And my ministry is the people who've been hurt, people who are outcasts. So we started in Atlanta. We just moved to Detroit almost a year ago, but we just started the ministry about 3 months ago. We're in the Considine. You should come by, brother. Come on by there. Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday, we there.
Okay.
Come on by, man, and holler at me. I'm going to give you my number.
Yeah.
Because what you doing, we doing. I was just out there they won't invite me to Michigan prisons. I've been to prisons all over the country. They won't let me in, man. I've been to Ohio. I've been to 3 prisons in Ohio. I've been to federal prisons, but Michigan will not let me in the prison. They just make it
the hardest places to go. I'm being honest with you.
It's terrible. It's terrible. And it's a lot of those guys missing out on getting the help that they need making the transition because they can't hear it before they leave.
And with you being from here, you would think that they would allow you to be an advocate, to help them transition from. Wow.
Can I say this? It's one of the hardest things for the MDOC. It's the person that's running the MDOC. I've got the lady she's connected with.
Helen something.
The DMOC is what is that?
Michigan Department of Corrections.
Okay.
That is the title. That's the abbreviation for the title of Michigan Department of Corrections. The actual penal system of the state of Michigan. And the lady,
So it's hard for everybody. I thought they were just doing me like that.
Yeah, we're working on, with my organization, we're working on connecting with members in Lakeland, correctional facility, and we're working with them. You got to have the people inside advocate for you to get inside the institution. And that's what we're doing with those initiatives. We're working on Lakeland, we're actually working on Earth. You already know the nickname of Earth. Chippewa Correctional Facility. But it's very hard. I understand that we're trying to get, this is my 30th year being out of prison, and it's just now in the talk to actually
How long was you in?
14 and a half years.
Okay.
That's how much, if I can, be brief, I have a story behind every time. Usually have to use that old correctional facility.
Yeah.
I was in using I was in general population.
Okay. So I used to see y'all when I came to the fence.
Yes. But every time you had to do an interview, every time you had to go to the walk, they used to shut down shut down everything.
Straight up.
I swear to God, middle lion game and everything.
No, that was that.
You were still commanding that much attention.
And wait a minute, that's how they get people to hate you though. So them guys, they be in there, I hate this, I hate it.
But I'm going to ask you both a question though, because both of you have an understanding that voting makes a difference. You both understand that you come from a political sensibility that is important. But I'm also curious to know, outside of God's amazing grace, what do you attribute to not being bitter black, singing the bitter black blues because of what you went through?
Well, I'm going to say for me, it was, I understand my work. You know what I'm saying? When I was in prison, I read my history. I read positive affirmation books. And those are things that kind of shifted my mindset. Because I understand it was all of me to make those choices. It was all of me to make the groundwork, to put the work out here to see if I want to make my change in my own life. So that's when I come with that bitter story. The reason I ain't coming that bitter black man syndrome out of prison. And plus, since I came home, I knew I could build the resources. I'm free now. People in there become institutionalized, but they don't feel like they're free. And when they don't feel like they're free, and they feel like all these pieces, like we tell them resources, people not actually giving you the opportunities, you get bogged down and feel like you want to backtrack. Me, I was fortunate to keep working and building connected relationships where I didn't have that type of feel when I first got out of prison.
And outside of, once again, God's amazing grace, but why, Reverend Kilpatrick, do you attribute to not being bitter? Because you have a lot of reasons to be bitter and you are not.
I think one thing is, I know without any question of mental hesitation or any reservation that I could be dead and gone. I know that by way of Jesus Christ, he saved my life. I'm talking about slow singing and flower bringing. and then he also saved this life. So when I come out of prison, I'm thankful just to be on the other side of them barbed wire fences and have the opportunity to live here, to reconnect with my sons. You know, I'm 56 years old. I have 30-year-old twins. I have a 24-year-old, but I also got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. It's a miracle that they even alive, that I have a chance to have another wife, to have a chance to remarry, to have a chance to be smile, to be happy on this side of the fence. I don't have time to be mad. Now I have to use the grace that God gave me to be on this side to help somebody else. When I was walking out the prison and they closed down the yard, they closed down the federal yard. I walked out, dudes beating on the window. I'm saying, you know, I'm throwing up the deuces, but they yelling, "Don't forget about us. Don't forget it." I mean, all the way to the door. And I said, never. You know, I'm hollering out, never, never. I'm seeing guys I know, man, love y'all. When I got to that car and went to the airport, that's all I was saying to myself. It's people in there. My cellie, he out now by the grace of God. I got two of my lifers that two of my cellies out. But I work. I don't know if you know Tommy Seymour.
Yeah.
Tommy Seymour coming home, man. He be home next couple weeks. He been in there 30-something years. We be right down there when he walk out. It's for me, it's people that had it way worse than me and never had a chance. You know, I've been to South Africa and Europe, and I've walked on Mount Kilimanjaro and all this kind. This guy's been in there since they was 19 and they 50 years old for nothing.
Wow.
I ain't talking about murder. I'm talking about crack or something. And for me, that is such a shame, and it's it's torture. And so I owe it all to God to be out so I can go back and get somebody else.
Now I'm gonna ask Blake this question because I told you before. He said to me, and I'm just keeping it real. He said, "I don't know if Reverend Kilpatrick is for real." Now I want you to tell him he's a grown man and he's a child of God, so he has to hear truth to power. At this Light Up Livernois moment, and he can take it now. Don't just say it because you're trying to be polite. How do you feel concerning this?
Now he old man, but that ain't what this is. You know? We're just kicking it.
Just tell him what is your feeling.
Yeah, the reason why that, right? Because let me tell you, when you were mayor, I was just growing up. See, I'm 36.
Oh man.
So during that time, I grew up in the Great Recession.
Yeah.
And you were the I'm gonna say not the group, but the city administration before the Great Recession actually took place. So a lot of the things that you did that you had put in place during that time led to those failures, right? And
not a single one.
Oh, make the correction from it.
That's good.
So make the correction from it. And what I want to know personally, what are you not going to fall back to the wayside of things you did in the past? I know a lot of people use a lot of rhetoric, and make sure that we have criminal justice reform as part of when it comes to your ministry. Really push that agenda and not backtrack to the things for the people that actually had the influence on you to make those decisions.
Well, that's two different things. Let me answer that. I can do short on the back end. I'm not a policy maker. I'm not a legislator. I'm not a politician at all, man. But I don't know about reform, but I plan on making sure that we have the largest restoration movement in Michigan anywhere else in America. And that's what I've been going back and forth from DC to do. Using something that God gave me to sit in some of those rooms and figure out how we get the money here to do what we need to do in Michigan and then take it across the United States of America. But in the first part, there's so much misinformation about when I was mayor. You know, one of the things and strategies of the enemy is to separate you from your own people. And as soon as they separated me from y'all, they could do anything with me. And they lied to you. I don't have a single charge in my case of stealing no money, misusing no funds, misusing any government funds. Nothing, not a single charge, not a penny. None of that is in my case. You know where they got that from? Y'all. People just passing that around. He stole money. You ain't never gonna hear that on TV. You just hear that in the hood. But we don't know, or social media. I ain't got a single charge for that. Not a single charge for that. I always say to them, why they don't never read the charges? Secondly, old folks around here believe, oh, he took our retirement. They lying. I fully funded the retirement of this city, much to the city's. This is the craziest thing, because I believe that if a person put in their time and they live by what they said in their retirement for city workers, we should pay them and give them exactly what they signed up for. That bankruptcy court took y'all. Now, the bankruptcy was 7 years after I left. They bent the city over and they raped the city. And while they was raping y'all, they told you to blame Kwame Kilpatrick, and you believed it. You believed it. And so now everybody walking around, even the next generation, like, oh, he got us. No, that's not what happened. What the problem in the city of Detroit was if you go look at the 2008 papers, if you just go, let's continue the momentum. We've never done this good. The Final Four is on its way. They didn't start that negative conversation till after 2009 when the bottom dropped out of the economy. And then all of a sudden we got to blame somebody because we got to reorganize Detroit. And if we take it into bankruptcy, we can reorganize it forever. We could take power away from the city council. We could give more power to the mayor that we choose. We can do a whole lot of different things to isolate the neighborhoods away from downtown. And that's what happened. And in that happening, it disrupted this whole community, and somebody needs to be blamed. And y'all chose to blame Kwame Kilpatrick. Now, I was dumb and stupid on a whole lot of stuff, but not no money stuff. I was messed up on people. I was very messed up on character and integrity. I'm around there committing adultery, going to BET Awards. I mean, I should have been doing my, being here, being responsible and representing everybody in this community. So I don't absolve myself from some of the crazy, stupid stuff that I did. But a criminal, that's the reason I'm out, is because people from California to New York, Florida to Chicago looked at my case and couldn't believe it. The only people believe this mess around here is Detroiters. Nobody else in the whole world, Craig. I'm talking about the whole wide world believe this stuff, except for Detroiters, because they sold it to you and they took your whole town. That's the only economic thing that's going on. That's the greatest thing, is this for black people. This is it. Light Up Livernois. There's no foothold for Detroiters nowhere in this town. And I was making sure 70-something% of the contracts went to you. And they said, we got to get this dude up out of here. And they used, last thing, they used Bobby Ferguson. Bobby Ferguson took over his father's company, because they tried to make it like he was a fly-by-night. He took over his father's company. Excellent. He did Comerica Park. He did water department contracts before I was even there. So what they did is he hired 140 or 150 black men, taught them how to do excavation, taught them how to do demolition. Y'all had no company. It was 17 black contractors doing demolition when I was in office. How many do you think you got now?
Not a one.
None.
Not a one.
You ain't got none. Zero. You don't have one Detroit company. Go on Dexter right now and see who's knocking down stuff. Look at the crew. You ain't gonna see one Detroiter. Go on the east side. That's what this was about. And they gonna tell you, oh, he was corrupt. He was this. Yeah, it's easy to say, like, he over there talking about it. Because it's all he been fed. And so in this town, that's why I said protect Mary, because she can't help y'all unless y'all protect her.
And you're speaking truth to power. And you know what? I want to just give you just something. When the now late great Brenda Scott.
Man, that was our girl.
But let me tell you that.
Oh man,
Brenda told me, she said that if Kwame Kilpatrick becomes the mayor, this is what she said. She said that she is going to be set up for scandal. She told me. She said that I know this because he's so young. This is what she told me. But then she told me, she said that I have never been more respected by anybody that has sat in a political seat than now Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick. Now that is speaking truth to power concerning who you are. So I say that because I realize that God has positioned you in a very unique place. I saw the light when you walked in a room, and you don't realize that at your inauguration, I was trying to figure out when I could go up and just say something to you, and you walked over to me. And you said that I respect who you are because of something I wrote about you in the Detroit News. You don't even remember that. But I know that God has ordered your steps to be here right now at Light Up Livernois to talk to Blake Lindsay, who told me he doubted if you were the real deal.
I just wanted to make sure the next generation of Detroiters understand that the body politic is not a popularity contest. It's a contact sport. I see Maurice Morton on the show. He understands it's a contact sport. There are a few people out here that understand that in order to engage in politics, you got to get in the room and you got to take some position and authority in the room. It's not just being nice. If you want a nice guy, it's hard. It's going to be hard for you to get the proceeds of the politics. Right now in D.C., this is a perfect example. HUD is about to spend $1.2 billion on new programs throughout America in urban areas. Who you sending to the room? That matters. We just had RFK here. $700 million for new programs, faith-based programs, re-entry programs. Who you sending into the room? See, all of that matters. So if we're talking about popularity contest, that is not talking about who we send in that room to help your community. I'm not in it no more. I'm not going in the room. Y'all get somebody to go in the room. I clap for them and everything. But you got to be able to go in the room and speak the language of politics. You have to do it in a way that's sincere. And sometimes it has to be bold. So you understand you competing against Memphis and LA and Chicago and Detroit and everybody going in. What is your case and who's making it? That's why you send people to office that are fighters. That's why you send people to office that are bold. Because you understand that these people have to bring stuff home. So Livernois feels the impact of sending that person there. That's all it's about. So when you say, is it real? Man, it's so real. But it's hard to be a really nice little small. It's hard to be 6'4", 300 pounds, and then you go in the room like, hey, everybody, how you doing? But you know, you would do well in the room. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
But I tell you this, Kwame, and because I really have this time, and I know you probably got a lot of things.
No, this is perfect.
Look, I know. Look, when you first came, I'm in high school. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
You're trying to make me old, man.
No, you seasoned.
Okay.
Brother, like, for real, like, we was, like, pushing you. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something, right? I'm a redemption story. I'm a person, and I didn't have the hot grace of God in social classes to help me out in those sort of papers. I really was in the streets and made that transition in prison. So my thing about it is redemption story. I don't really care about people's past. I mean, I care about the past to a certain degree, but my thing about it is where we pushing towards the future. And let me tell you, since I've been released, and I've been hearing about your name, I've been hearing the work that you've been doing. So it doesn't even matter, you know what I'm saying, what you have done in the past, what you're doing in the future. I see the real work that you're doing.
Let me say this first, thank you. But then I'm going to do this, man. I'm going to apologize to you, brother. After you leave, you understand that it was shorties watching you. You was a shorty at that time,
I didn't.
And a lot of people who had just so much, a tremendous amount of hope that I would be there, that I would do this. Man, I hate that I let y'all down, man. Listen, I slept really good in prison. But one thing that kept me up, and this is crazy, my divorce from Detroit was more traumatic for me than my divorce from my first wife. That this city gave me so much, and I love it so much that I hate hurting the people here. And I hate that y'all got hurt behind me too. One of the things Bobby Ferguson and I went, after they pronounced us guilty, and this is gonna be in the documentary, y'all gonna see this, we were in a room and we both were crying. You're gonna see us crying. And I said, what you doing crying, man? It was just me and him and the camera, right? And he said, we let the people down. And I went bawling after that. Yeah. So we felt what you're saying. That to let down people in this town was the hardest thing in the world. But for me, the other part of it is that they miseducated you, misguided you, and then totally annihilated everybody afterwards. So much so that it's so tough for y'all to pull the unity back together. And I just would love for that to come back together because it's more important than me. It's more important to the next generation. You 36, I was 36 as mayor.
Yeah.
Now it's shorties behind you that are counting on you to do something and make a better city for them. So y'all got to come back together.
So now this has been a powerful time, and Tisha has been hanging on to every word. So Tisha, would you just say something in terms of having been touched by these two gentlemen right now?
I just think it's a blessing that you all have an opportunity to share your story. I think it's going to be impactful for so many. And I just want to encourage you all both to continue to share the story because somebody needs to hear it. Somebody is going to be blessed from it. And I'm going to decree and I'm going to declare that the masses are going to be touched from your word. And I'm praying and I'm believing, God, that He will continue to anoint your mouth.
Amen.
And He will continue
Glory
to
to
give
God.
you what to say and how to say, to speak to some young man, especially our black men, to let them know that you made it and they can make it. And by the grace of God, there is nothing too hard that God cannot do.
I believe
There
it.
you
I
have it.
receive it in the name of Jesus. Thank you.
Jesus'
There
name.
you have it. And so, as we say not goodbye, but see each other again on this earthly journey, because
do
we're
it.
connecting the dots. That Light Up Livernois, I think this moment probably will be one of the most profound moments to happen in this environment.
Wow.
So I ask you, Reverend Kilpatrick, as we say not goodbye, but see you later, speak to the audience and whatever God is telling you to say as we depart.
Hey, Detroit, first of all, I want to thank you, Greg. Uh, you know, you've been doing this for a long time, man. And I was trying to figure out how to say this, but the best way to say it is there's nobody like you. You are very unique in doing this, and how you do it, and how you talk, and how you say it, and how you ask questions. It's not just uplifting. You get the information you want without tearing people down, but also with lifting up the Lord. And I don't know how you do all that, but man, you're a bad dude, man, for real. And thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you ain't aged a bit. That's not fair. That's not fair.
But I just
You
had my
know.
big 50th on Tuesday.
Wow. Yeah, I heard it through the grapevine. Yeah. Yeah. But I just want to say to Detroit thank you. Detroit, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, from Fairbanks Elementary School to Pelham Middle School to Cass Tech High School, all the way to the State House and to the mayor's office. This city has loved on me. And in some way, I hope to love on y'all. As I said, I hate I let you down, but by the grace of God, He's given me another chance. Not a second one. This is about the 17th, 18th one. But He's given me another chance to do what He designed and purpose and destined for me to do in the earth. And so you're going to see a lot, and you're going to be so proud to know that your baby, your boy, right out of Linwood and the Boulevard, was able to go and sit with presidents and department directors and kings and queens and bring stuff back to Detroit that brings people freedom.
There you have it. So Light Up Livernois is about making connections. These
Man, appreciate you, brother. I got to give you my number.
connections. So stay tuned as we continue with the official Light Up Livernois podcast, powered by Post Media. I'm Greg Dunmore. And remember that you are blessed because we are blessed to talk to you at this moment right now. And God is in the blessing business.
Amen. Amen.
Stay tuned.
Wow. Y'all, look at y'all too good at that.
Everybody together, wellness, wholeness, everything right here on Livernois. Like you said, I'm just proud to be able to continue that legacy, serve this, and make sure that our community is right. We had that open center on 8 Mile Boulevard, 1,000 people get a chance to live and work in the day one, showing up and having a great time. That's what it's all about.
Recently graduated 18-year-old. This year, another year, trying to fill his way to this thing called life. So, what are some of the opportunities or some of the investments that you all are making into the system for the young people?
Because I thought they excellent question. So I have 2 children as well. They're out there listening right now. And they're in high school. My church started a charter school right now in Detroit almost 30 years ago. Detroit Academy of Arts and Science. Right there on Junction, the kids went to the White House Resort, competed on America's Got Talent, right? Ellen Show, Preacher, and Disney World. And I say all this because when you invest in young people, they will perform. It was about 4 years ago. We announced we were paying $100,000 a year. And now that was one of the fastest growing things academically in the state. And so our campaign, we want to invest more into education. Because we know what our background children are capable of, right? They're quite beautiful. So if we invest more in education, we'll get more out of them. So I'm glad you're right.
And I found in Congress, the two people who know you was bringing us to learn whether it's operational, music entertainment, whether it's on the space side of things. So we got a really fantastic program to be able to teach those. If we're ready for that level, we got to be investing in that here. And so every time we're talking about it.
When we were younger, I used to hang out downtown, go to Trappers Alley, if you remember Trappers Alley, right? Absolutely. And we would walk around, dance levels, all kinds of young people walking around. And they were always so sad because there was a police presence or a dog presence, and we protected them, right? And so I think young people are saying we need something to do. They're crying out for a place to go, things to do. And I think we need to provide a safe, clean, great environment for them to thrive in, socialize in. I mean, the worst thing you can do is stick them in a room in front of a television or a screen right on their phone. They need to be outside. And so I think it's on us as adults to protect them. And so, once again, investing in the community, providing opportunities, investing in security, policing, more programs that they can participate in so that they're active and not up and down behavior, more or less.
Now, somebody said that one of the midnight basketball, someone said it's not about giving young people a basketball, it's about helping them get a paycheck at 9 years